And a good spiritual morning to you once again. Thanks for joining me today for a quick chat and, of course, our morning cup of coffee. And I wanted to talk a little bit about patience today because someone asked me a question about that last week and I talked to them about it. And so patience, obviously, so important in the spiritual life because whatever we're dealing with, it doesn't happen right away. It takes time. Our growth in Christ, dealing with adversity, dealing with difficulties, even in our prayer life. That's a very common problem. People say, Father, I pray for things. They just don't seem to happen. My prayers don't seem to be answered. I'm working on this, but it doesn't seem to be getting any better. I'm struggling with this bad situation and it's not getting any better. Or I'm struggling with this sin and I'm not doing any better at overcoming it. And all of that is related to our ability to continue to work even when we don't see the results of our labor. And that's based on the virtue of patience. And we don't talk about it maybe enough as we should in the spiritual life. Patience, it's incredibly important to be able to continue to do the work, even though you don't see results. And that's hard for us. And I tell people that all the time. Those things are not in your control. The results are not in our control. The results are in God's hands. It's God's grace that's going to be able to give us what we want. We can't earn it. We can't buy it, right? We are not earning our salvation. We're not worthy of it. And when we're asking for things in the spiritual life, we have to trust that God's going to give them to us when it's to our benefit, when it's the best thing for us. Just like we as parents do that for our kids. Our kids might be pestering us for something. And we know, well, right now, it's not the best time to do that. So we don't give it to them. We might wait a little bit, or we might give it to them in a different way. Or we might know, hey, even though you want that, that's never good for you. You're not going to get that at all. And dealing with that as an adult, so to speak, but a spiritual child of of God, who's our Father, it's a struggle. It's tough. It's difficult. And so working on, though, they sort of say, yeah, I know I need to be more patient. Okay. If we can all agree that patience is important and we need to learn how to be more patient, the question becomes, well, how do I do that? How do I become more patient? Well, the first thing is that's something which is positive, which is a good thing. So it's something that you can pray for. It's something we should be asking God for. Lord, grant me, please give me patience. It's a virtue. And why aren't we asking God to help us with that? So amongst the other things that we're asking for help with, why aren't we asking help, with that? Please, Lord, give me patience. Help me to continue to work at 100%, to do my very best for the sake of doing it, not for the sake of the result, but in putting forth the effort. That's the first thing. Pray for it. The next thing is to realize you can do sort of quote unquote exercises to build your patience. And it's interesting because when we think of exercise, we think of something physical. But when we think of spiritual exercise, the word ascetic discipline, ascetic practice, comes from askesis, which literally means spiritual exercise, spiritual discipline, right? So there's ways we should sort of quote unquote work out in the spiritual life, the same way that we might walk or we might, bike or go swimming or do stretching or whatever we're doing. Physically, we should know spiritually, I have to work out. I have to do my exercise. I have to do my askesis, my ascetic practice, my ascetic discipline. And you can work on patience. And how do you do that? Well, you find something that you want. Okay, so that's the first step. What do I want? And it's not in general. It's one very concrete thing. I want something. Maybe I want to buy something, whatever it might be. And you say, you know what? I want to buy that. Okay, I don't have to have it. Like, it's not an absolute necessity for me to have it right now. It's like, if I don't have it, I'm going to have problems. I don't have a car to get to work. I want to buy a new car. Well, you need a car to get to work. I'm not saying that. Whatever it might be, a piece of clothing or going someplace or whatever it is. It's like, okay, I'd like to have that. I really want it. I've looked at it. I really want it, whatever it might be, to do something, to have something, but something tangible. Okay. I want that. I don't have to have it, but I want it. Now, I can have it. I have the ability to do it, whatever it is. I can buy it. I can afford it. I can go on that trip. You know what? I've always wanted to go to Paris. I'm just throwing one out there. Not me personally, but just say that's the, I've wanted to go to London or something, or Italy. I've wanted to go to Rome. I don't have to go, but I'd like to go. And I can afford, I've saved up. I can afford to go now. So whatever it might be, or it could be really, really small. You know what? I see that jacket. I've looked online and I saw that jacket that I really liked. And I'd love to buy that, or that ring, or that necklace, or whatever it is. I'd really love that. And not me personally. I don't wear jewelry other than my wedding ring. And I can afford it. I don't need it. Now, don't buy it. Don't do it. But consciously make the decision to say, okay, wait, I'm going to hold off on that. And if we can do that in small ways, it can be big things, it can be little things. It's better if it's little things on a regular basis, something that we want to have. And it can be throughout our day-to-day life. I'd love to stop at Starbucks and get that $8 cup of coffee. I really want to go get it. I've got the $8 in my pocket. I've got my credit card on me. I can go, no, I'm not going to do that right now. If you consciously delay gratification, you build patience. So if I say to myself, there's these things that I want to do in my regular life, and a lot of times, I hate to say it, we are of means, right? Generally speaking, we're not starving, we're not naked, we're not homeless, we're not in a third world country, we're not in a position where we want things that we can't have. Now, yes, to a certain extent, of course, we all want things. Believe me, I've got a long list of things I want I can't have. But a lot of things we can have. We see something, we can probably go get it. We can probably go buy it. We can probably do it. But if we learn to say, no, I'm not going to do that right now, I'm going to wait a little. And that's not like I say, I'm never going to do it. But I'm going to wait a little bit. I'm going to teach myself to learn how to delay the gratification. I'm going to teach myself to be patient. Then that's a skill that I can build up, that I can practice. It's a muscle that I can exercise spiritually. And so in the spiritual life, when we're confronted by things, we learn how to wait. You know what? I'm struggling with this. I'm having difficulty with my job and with my relationship, with my marriage, with my children, with my parents, whatever it might, with my health. I'm struggling with something. And I'm asking God, please help me with this. Please help me. And I'm thinking about it and I'm praying about it. And I'm coming to church and I'm doing all this and it's just not getting any better. And I want to throw in the towel and I want to throw my arms up and say, forget about it. Forget the whole thing. Why bother with it? And then when you go down that path, really bad things happen. But in order to stay back and say, no, I have to wait. God's going to give it to me. He's going to help me in the best way possible at the best possible time. I have to be patient. Then we can practice that. We can learn that. Then the way that I've been practicing patience in my life when I have the choice is going to help me when I don't have the choice. It's going to help me learn how to sit back and say, okay, Lord, I'm giving it to you. When it's best, you're going to help me. And I'm going to wait. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to keep praying and I'm going to wait. And I'm going to trust that you're going to answer the prayer. You're going to help me when it's best. Now, that doesn't mean don't do your own part. We're not saying, be passive in your life and don't do what you're supposed to be doing and just sit back and wait for God to do everything for you. It doesn't work that way either. But you're doing everything that you can and you need the help and you're in a tough spot and you can't get out of that tough spot. You're stuck there. You have to learn how to sit there and be okay with it. It takes a lot of things. It takes trust, it takes faith, it takes love, it takes courage, it takes patience too. And that's something we can work on and build so that we get closer to Christ, and we do that each and every day. Amen.